Yo, it's your boy J Best, your boy Jared King, your boy Real, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, season 3, episode 46. On today's episode, we're gonna give our reaction to the national championship game that took place on Monday night. And following that, we're gonna head over to the NBA and talk about some breaking news, Mike Malone being fired from the Nuggets, and then we're gonna also talk about are the Lakers the biggest threat to the Oklahoma City Thunder. All right, before we get into any of that, as always, we want to thank God for waking us up this morning, allowing us to talk about sports, which is something that we love to do. And without him, we would not be here right now. So let's go ahead and let's get this thing started with the national championship that took place Monday night. Jerry, the floor is yours. You called it from the jump. You said Floyd gonna win it all. This is your segment. Take over.
I appreciate it. You know, as you said, I was correct from the jump. I called it. Wish I would have bet on them from the jump, but pockets might be a little bit fuller. But yeah. What I said would happen happened. I said that in any given moment, if this team is in a close game, they're going to find a way to win the game. And we saw that time and time again. We saw that whenever they beat Texas Tech. They were down at the end, closing moments. Walter Clayton Jr. had a phenomenal game to bring them back. We saw it against Auburn. The whole team really wanted to run, plus Walter Clayton Jr., and they came back. And then against U of H, like the whole entire game, my phone's blowing up. Oh, it's not looking too good. Not looking too good. Yo, like, no, I'm okay. I kept telling people the fact that U of H, first of all, round of applause for U of H. They held Walter Clayton Jr. to 0 points in the first half. Like, that was tremendous. It was tremendous defense. They did what you needed to do schematically to get the job done. Like, Kelvin Sampson, he really drew it up to stop Walter Clayton Jr. But the fact he had 0 points and they were only up by 3 at halftime, I was very comfortable. When the other team's star player has 0 points, you should be up by double figures at least 10 or 12 points. But they weren't, because U of H, they're not a team that scores the ball very well, especially in half court situations. They're more of a in transition, get you while you're off balance type of team. So, other players for Florida were able to step up in that first half to keep them in the game. And then the second half comes around and Florida starts to figure it out. They start to figure out attack. Like, that's what they need to do instead of settling for threes and trying to play outside, play a little bit inside. The turning point in that game was whenever U of H got 3 fouls in the span of 9 seconds. That put them one more foul away from the bonus, and that's when Florida started to attack the rim. That's when Florida started to go on that run, and that's when Florida started to get back in the game. And like I said, close game, Florida's going to pull it out. So, it was amazing, to see that my pick was correct from the jump. Won a little bit of money off of this. So, I'm just it was a great job by Florida. Great season by U of H. One thing I do have to say. Stop bashing the kid for the last play. Should he have shot the ball? Yes. Me personally, I don't think they should have been trying to settle for a 3. Kelvin Sampson even said he should have shot fake and then try to drive. But, in the heat of a moment like that, a college player, that's a big moment. Put yourself in his position. You're probably going to panic just like him, because whenever he caught the ball and turned, if you look at the play, Walter Clayton Jr., when he ran off the screen initially, Walter Clayton Jr. is still sitting in the paint because he's watching the ball. So whenever LJ Cryer makes the pass to him, it looks like he's going to be open to take the 3. So he turns and he's getting ready to shoot, and he's in his shooting motion. Walter Clayton Jr. comes from out of nowhere and contests, and that's when he froze up, made the mistake that he made, game's over. But let's not sit here and bash this kid's head in, because he had a good tournament. He had a pretty decent game, and that's just a very big moment. Got to give your props to U of H. They had a great tournament, great run, great game. They just couldn't finish it out. But congratulations to Florida on getting the win.
All right, Real.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Jarek. Let's not bash the kid. The kid had a great season. He had a great March Madness. But I know all the bettors who had Houston are going to be really, really mad. But like Jarek said, it was just a really unfortunate play. If anybody puts themselves in their shoes and they're just thinking about the time, like 5 seconds left, 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left, you know what I'm saying? They're probably going to make the same mistake. If I'm in that same situation, like Jarek said, Clayton was in the paint. He was running out to contest the shot. As soon as he got the ball to shoot, Clayton was already in his face. So it was like if he would have shot the shot, it would have been blocked. So it was like it was a lose-lose situation. So I say let's like Jerry said, let's not clown the kid. Let's not down him. He's still a young player. He still has a bright, very bright future. But just to move back onto the game, I thought it was the game that we all expected. We knew it was going to be a low scoring game. We knew that this was going to be a defensive game. We all know who Houston is. We all know that they really didn't allow 100 points all March Madness. Kelvin Sampson is a defensive minded coach. He had that Houston team playing hard. I knew this wasn't going to be an easy game for either team. I knew it was going to come down to the last final seconds. I definitely wasn't expecting Clayton to get locked down to 0 points in the first half, but like I said, Houston, they have one of those teams. They have a team that's going to trap you at half court. They're going to make it really, really hard on you to score. But just shout out to Florida. Shout out to everybody who made contributions that helped out. They hit some really big shots down the stretch, especially Will Richard when Clayton wasn't doing good.
All right, I'm not gonna clown the kid. I want to clown the coach. All right, Kelvin Sampson. Look, first of all, congratulations to Florida. Secondly, for 39 minutes and 41 seconds, he coached a phenomenal game. Like I'm sitting there texting my dad saying this is a masterclass by Coach Kelvin Sampson. Right, he held Walter Clayton to 0 points in the first half. In the second half, Walter Clayton got it going, but he still wasn't as easy as it was for the the second two previous games, because he had 30 points in the Elite Eight, at 30 points in the Final Four, and then this game he ended with I believe it was 14, right?
11.
So
Actually, at 11.
11, sorry, 11 points. All right, so Kelvin Sampson did what I said Auburn should have did, which is do not let one man beat you. Auburn literally let one man beat them in that game. Kelvin Sampson said, "Look, we're not gonna let you beat us," and he did not beat them, right? But in the second half, he got close, and at the end of the game, right, they make the free throw. Coach Hampton called a timeout with 19 seconds left, and the play he drew up was to shoot a 3-pointer. That's what the play was for. So your mindset going into that possession was we're gonna try and win this game right here. When in this game, your team shot before that shot 6 for 24 from the 3-point line. Why are you relying on a 3-point shot whenever your team is not getting it going from the three? On top of that, Florida was in a double bonus. So if you try to attack, you might draw a blocking foul, you might draw a reaching foul, you might draw a shooting foul, right? Which can lead to an and one, or it's a free throws, or you might miss the shot. And then, mind you, Houston had 15 offensive rebounds in that game. It was crashing the boards offensively. So you could have got two chances to tie this game or to go up by one if you get fouled and one, right? But he decided to go for a three, which to me did not make sense. So I'm not gonna clown the kid. I'm gonna clown the coach. He folded. He wet the bed and he choked. All right. In college basketball this year, even UNC, right? My coach, Hubert Davis, I've seen it. In the last couple of seconds, coaches like they freeze up. It's almost like they just say, "Hey, my best player, go get a bucket," and it looks sloppy. Like I don't understand. This is college, man. Draw up a play, right, with options. Draw up a play. It's simple. You can get a ball right. LJ Cryer, right? That's who you trust the most with the ball in his hand, correct? Right? Have somebody come set a screen, have them roll off the screen, have a back screen in the corner, right? So LJ can drive, he can pull up, he can hit the roller, he can hit the backside cutter. It's so many things you could have done in that situation versus trying to settle for a three when your team's not shooting good from three. And not only that, but he didn't get the shot off. So, like I said, no slander to the kid, right? But slander to the coach. Because I feel like you should not have been going for the win. Go for the tie, or you can even get an and one, especially when your team can crash the boards offensively. So that was just to me a bad call all around from Kelvin Sampson. And we gave him credit against BYU for drawing that great out of bounds play. Right. So I don't know what he was thinking, but to me, that's just not the way to go about it. And on top of that, wait, go ahead.
Yeah, and like you said, on top of that, they have a really good defense. So trust your defense. Like drive in there on the double bonus. 9 times out of 10, we're in college basketball. You're gonna get a foul call. Then you're gonna trust your defense with the game tied. So I 100% agree with you. Blame the coach.
This is like, I agree. Like even the Duke U of H game. I told Jalen, like if I'm John Shire, I'm telling Cooper Flag, like it was a great shot he got off. Don't get me wrong, like that's his shot, mid range pull up, that's his shot. But I even told him, like, if I'm John Shire, I'm telling Cooper Flag, get to the rim. You're 6'9", you're going to either finish or you're gonna get fouled. Like it's that simple. I feel like in every late game situation, especially when it's a 2-point game, let's get to the rim. Let's try to like you said, you're gonna get fouled or you're going to make the shot 9 times out of 10. So I definitely agree with both y'all. And also, Just keep the ball in LJ Crier's hands. He was your leading scorer for the whole game. I mean, if you look at it, nobody else is in double figures but him. Keep the ball in LJ Crier's hands. Don't make him pass the ball out. Like you said, set a ball screen. If anything, if we're gonna say best player go win the game, set a ball screen, LJ Crier go do something. But the fact that we gave it to a guy, and mind you, this guy shot 1 for 7 from 3 the whole entire game. So I mean, like you said, that is a little bit of a coaching problem. But I'm not gonna sit here and bash the coach because he coached a tremendous game. Like that's
No, Coach Sampson, you lost a lot of people a lot of money. Okay, let's just put that out.
that's why you're dogging him out because he lost your money. That
I'm
is
not,
why.
that's
But
not my
but
dog.
the fact that the man, I can't. That's my thing. I can't look at him and say this is on you when his scheme held their best player to 0 points in the first
Oh,
half.
yes, I said it. I said it for
Their
30. I
lack
have
of
it right here.
offense is what lost them this game. How are you up by 3 points when the other team's best player has 0? Why are you up by 3 points at half? Why is it still a close game? Why can't you run away with it? That's a problem.
You're right. They should have, and it
Look,
was too close for their best player to have 0. But at the end
yes,
of the game, you were supposed to put your team in the best position to be successful, and you did it. And that's what we're going to remember. What happened at the end. But I gave him his credit. I said for 39 minutes and 41 seconds, you coached a beautiful game. Like I saw it. And because your team was off shooting, and also U of H took way too many threes in the first half. Like I'm sitting there watching them chuck up bad shots. They're getting offensive rebounds, kicking it back out, just pulling threes. I don't know what they was thinking, but your team was not shooting well that night. So that's why they couldn't pull away while you held Walter Clayton to 0. But at the end of the game, when you support, this is when coaches matter. This is when coaching matters, right? You showed us what you can do against BYU, but in this game, you wanted and one like you said, that boy was 1 for 7. The play was drawn up for him. He 1 for 7, and the 1 3 that he did make was off the dribble. It was he pulled it from like deep, and made it. This was like during the last kind of stretch of the game. So that to me wasn't even like that was a lucky shot, in my honest opinion. But yeah, teams not shooting well, and you want to shoot a 3 to win the game. I just don't. I don't see the logic there. And like I said, there's so many things you could have done. Attack the basket, draw a foul. You automatically get 2 free throws. You can get an and one. Like it's way better outcomes if you attack, especially because your team's not a shooting team to begin with. So to
Yeah.
me, he sold the bag for sure.
so can we say like offensively, did they play into Florida's style in
Yes,
terms of their offensive game? Because mind you, if I'm not mistaken, I think Florida outscored them in the points in the paint. I'm pretty sure. So they like they
I
fell
have it
into
right here. Points in the paint was 28 to 24, so it was 4 points.
Florida having 28.
Yeah, 28-24. That's not to me. That's not that bad of a what's it called.
It's not that bad, but when you're a team that's not a great shooting team, you shouldn't be losing when it comes to points in the paint. Not at all.
I mean, like I said, to me, 4 points is that's not enough for me to say you really lost. But that's 2 shots. They meant 2 layups is what Florida had. That could have been transition. That could have been like you know what I'm saying. So to me, I'm not gonna really look at that and trip about it. But what I am gonna trip about is the fact that the biggest flex they had was their ability to get boards yesterday. Now, overall, they lost the rebound game 39 to 40, but offensively, they won 15 to 8. Like they was getting second chances. And like you said, I think they did play into Florida's game because they was pulling threes. Like it was sloppy at first. Even I had somebody text me and say, "Why are they shooting so many threes?" And I didn't understand it, especially whenever you're doing really good defensively. Go get to the rack, get your easy points. But hey, coach sold. I don't care what nobody say. He lost a lot of people some money, and it is. But this is
Well,
why.
he
This is
won me some
why.
money.
This is why it's time to move on. Because hey, look, how many times they gonna sell? How many? When are we gonna get sick of this? When we have enough? U of H fans, I'm calling y'all out. When are y'all gonna have enough of this mediocrity? That's what it is. But look, I ain't gonna lie. I'm a hypocrite because I'm gonna sit here and dog him, but I still think Mike Tomlin should have a job. So I'm a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite because people say the same thing. They'll say, "Why Mike Tomlin got a job then?" But yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Apples and oranges.
It really is. It really
Apples,
is. It really
apples
is.
and
But
oranges.
at face value, they gonna say, "Well, Mike Tomlin doing the same thing." So no, don't even try it. Don't even try to say that mess. All right, y'all. Breaking news yesterday. All right, the Nuggets fired head coach Mike Malone and GM Calvin Booth. Mind you, the Nuggets are cemented in the playoffs. I mean, they could fall into the play-in. It's possible, but I doubt it. But they fired Mike Malone with 3 games left. I want to say something like that. So we've seen this already with the Memphis Grizzlies firing Taylor Jenkins. And now we're seeing this again. And this team is even better than the Grizzlies. And this team's in a better spot than the Grizzlies. So y'all help me understand. Rel, you up first. What's your reaction to this news?
Oh man, this one was tough. This one was like it was like yesterday was like that has to be fake. You know, it has to be fake. It was another one of those type of articles because we all know how good Michael Malone is. We all know that this Denver team just won the championship 2 years ago. This like Michael Malone developed Nikola Jokic into the MVP superstar he is today. And we all know, in a lot of people's opinions, Jokic is the best player in the NBA. So for the last 10 years, he molded Jokic into this great superstar, a great player. And on top of that, he built this great relationship with his team. And then not on top of that, they fired Calvin Booth, who kept this team together, who basically put that championship team together in 2022, 2023. So the owner basically said, "Hey, let's clean ship. Let's get everybody out of here and start over." Why? I'm completely speechless. I couldn't tell you at all. But the one thing I could tell you is that the Nuggets aren't happy. Jokic isn't happy about this. He loves Malone. Jamal Murray isn't. He loves Malone. Michael Porter, like this team was so close. This team is so together. Those three players and Aaron Gordon, they have been together the past 5 years. Like this team, they know how to play together. Everything they do is about chemistry. So I'm just completely shocked. I don't know where Denver goes from this, and I know I know Jokic and Jamal Murray are at home. Like, what are we going to do? Like they are so lucky they did not have to play today. They are so lucky, and something got to be going on in Denver.
Yep. Yeah.
Like you said, the big question is where are they going to go from this? Because whenever you have a team that, like you said, just won the championship 2 years ago, this coach was a. I understand if, like you said, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., they were all together when this team was built with Mike Malone. I understand if this core group of players was here and then Mike Malone came in 3 years ago, 1 year championship, like he wasn't here for the building process of it. Then you can try and go and replace him because you still have those core group of players. But like you said, this guy's helped mold these core group of players. Before Aaron Gordon got to Denver, he was a mediocre player. Like in Orlando, all he was known for was his dunk contest. Like we weren't looking at him as a respectable NBA player. He gets over there to Denver. The scheme with Nikola Jokic, him being in that dunker spot, lob after lob after lob, dish off. Like it was so smart and it's been unstoppable these past few years. This is like the Memphis Grizzlies firing Taylor Jenkins. Their rationale was he's not the guy who's gonna get the job done. What's your rationale right now? Because this guy got the job done. I'm not understanding. It doesn't make sense to me. And then you fire the GM who assembled this team along with Mike Malone. Look, I'm be real right now. We might get canceled for this. I'm sorry. If in the next few days there's not evidence of him being at them Diddy parties, then there's no respectable reason why that man got fired. That is the only reason why he's making no come back. No, come. I'm so serious. I'm not even playing right now. I'm so serious. I better see Michael Malone and Calvin Booth on tape at the Diddy parties or on Epstein Island, because that is the only reason why they should have been fired. There is no basketball reason why they should have gotten fired. They have to have some legal troubles going on. Yeah, come back. Nope, come back. I'm like, don't come back. They have to have some legal troubles going on because there's no rational reason why they got fired. It doesn't make any type of sense. Like Memphis, I looked at y'all bad, but Denver, this is even worse. This is a finals winning head coach. You can't move on from this. There is no available coach right now that I'm going to say is better than Mike Malone. There just isn't. So where do you go from this? I heard the owner had to tell the players, just go out there, play hard, and have fun. What kind of sense does that make? We're trying to go win a finals. We have the guy that's probably going to end up winning the MVP, although I think Shea should win it. Nikola Jokic is probably going to get another MVP. You have the MVP on your team, and you're firing his head coach? This makes no sense whatsoever. So they better hurry up and release a statement as to why they fired the man. And it better, like I said, he better be in some legal troubles because there's no basketball reason why you can tell me that this man got fired at all. No reason whatsoever. And the fact that the GM got fired with him, I'm thinking that there's some shady stuff going on. It has to be. Like a couple of days ago, he was in a press conference interview and he was talking about the lack of investment in some of the players. I'm pretty sure he's not talking about Nikola Jokic. He's not talking about Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon. But he said that players they're not watching film. They're not doing things on their own to better themselves and to better the team. So they're having to do all of this for the players. So maybe that has something to do with him getting fired. I don't know. But there's no logical reason here. There's no explanation. There's no nothing that you can tell me to make me believe that this is the right move going forward in the future. So I'm not going to lie. When you lose Nikola Jokic, when you lose Jamal Murray, when you lose these other guys, don't be surprised. Don't be shocked. You might as well start looking at the 2030 draft right now and wonder who's going to be your lottery pick because you lost your team. It's over with. So you definitely not going nowhere now. I don't care. Yes, you have a very talented team, but you still need a head coach that knows what he's doing to get the job done. And I guarantee you, the interim head coach does not know what he's doing like Mike Malone did. He doesn't. This is a guy that prevented LeBron and Anthony Davis from going to the finals. What are we talking about here? This is the guy that shut all that playoff Jimmy hype up. Made quick and easy work of Miami Heat in the finals. We thought this might be a Cinderella run. We thought we was watching March Madness. He said no. The better team wins in the NBA. He showed that. I don't know, man. You got to do. I'm done. This is ridiculous.
All right. So first and foremost, me and Rail have nothing to do with what that man just said. We do not meet up before the pod and talk about what we gonna say. He said that on his own. That was all him. All right. So for everybody that's kind of side eyeing the screen, he said that, not us. All right. Secondly, so when I was confused when I heard this news because I don't understand. Like Jerry said, like Rail said, there's no logical reason why you fire Mike Malone, and on top of that, why you fire him right now with 3 games left, right? So what Jerick said kind of makes sense to an extent, right? It better be something going on behind closed doors. But so I went to go watch First Things First, right? My favorite sports show. And Jerick, what did you just say that Mike Malone said? You said he said something in the conference, the press conference, right?
Yeah, he was. I want to say he was questioning some of the players, like how bought in they are to the team.
Okay. So they brought that up, and Nick Wright said the Nuggets only play 8 players, really, right? Theoretically, they only play eight players. Like DeAndre Jordan might play every now and then, but they play 8 players. And when you only have 8 players, when you go and you say something like that in the press conference, you can only be talking about certain people. Like I know you're not talking about Jokic, you're not talking about Jamal Murray. So that leaves Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, right? It leaves only a few people you can be talking about. So everything he says in the press conference can be directed towards certain players, if y'all see what I'm saying. And that could damage some relationships because I also heard from Chris Broussard that he called some people in their organization, and Mike Malone is a tough coach. He will yell at you, he will get in your face. He's a tough coach. And some of the players don't necessarily like that outside of Jokic. He said Jokic liked Mike Malone, right? Didn't always agree with him, but Jokic likes Mike Malone. But outside of him, everybody else could probably have a problem with that. And I give a lot of pushback to that because look, these are grown men, right? This isn't college. This isn't high school. Your relationship with your head coach, it matters, but not to the degree of college and high school because these are grown professional athletes. You're not gonna always work with somebody you like. Like I know that, right? As long as we can get along for this, 48 minutes, right? Then that's good enough because these are professional athletes. These guys are good enough to go out there for 48 minutes, play really well, and then all right, coach, I ain't really rocking with you like that. So like you don't need that. I feel like in college you need that relationship with coaching players, right? Because these young men still growing up, right? They need somebody to look up to. They need same with high school. But in the NBA, no, you're not gonna always like people like that. Like it's cool, just get along 48 minutes, then y'all go your separate ways. This is why Nick McMillan got fired from the Pacers. No, I'm sorry, Atlanta. He got fired from Atlanta, and they was really good when he was there. Well, not too good, but they was good what they had. He got fired from Atlanta because he was too rough on the players. Like that don't make. He's a grown man. What y'all do? Y'all crying to the GM and to the owner, saying, "Man, he yelled at me." Y'all a grown man. It don't make sense. So Mike Malone, although he is rough, he getting the job done. As y'all said, since 2019 is when he joined the team, he made his first playoff appearance that year. And since 2019, he has the most playoff wins, right? With 44. Eric Spoelstra, who we all think is a really good coach in Miami, is second with 39. Then Mike Budenholzer is tied for second with 39. Then Steve Kerr, then Doc Rivers. So he's leading that list with playoff wins since 2019. So don't you tell me what the Memphis Grizzlies said. It's not the guy for the job because he is. He just won a championship 2 years ago. Like I'm not. Nothing makes sense other than the fact that the players had a problem with his coaching style, which to me don't make sense. But that could be one thing. I also heard that him and the GM was not like they don't talk. Like they not close at all. So maybe from an ownership standpoint, hey, we can't have a head coach and a GM that's not on the same page, that's not locked in. So maybe we gotta let both of them go. But if that's how you feel, why would you do it right now? Like, let this thing ride out. Like, let it ride out to the end of the year. Then you can say, all right, y'all two can't get along. I'm gonna get rid of both of y'all. Like, if they don't win the championship, let's say they lose second round, right? Because right now they'll be playing OKC second round. Let's say they lost to OKC in the second round. Then you can say, all right, y'all two not getting along. You lost in the second round. Last year you lost in the second round, and you blew I believe in Game 7 against Minnesota, it was up by like 20 almost, and Minnesota came back and won that game. So you can say, okay, you blew that. This year you lost in the second round. We're moving backwards. We're not getting better. Okay, Mike Malone, I'm gonna let you go. Plus, you and the GM not getting along. That would make way more sense, and we would not question it as much as we are right now. But I also heard that we sit here and we say these guys are successful, these guys have rings. Why are they getting fired? I believe, excluding last year's finals, right? So the Boston and Dallas series, exclude that. I think the 5 series before that, or the 4 series before that, outside of Steve Kerr and Eric Spoelstra, all those coaches have been fired, which to me is crazy. Like 4 or 5 years ago is not that long ago. But go look it up. I think when Miami played the Nuggets, that's Eric Spoelstra. He's still in Miami. And then Steve Kerr played Boston. Steve Kerr is still in Golden State, but Ime got fired for different reasons. But I think the 4 series prior to last year, all those coaches have been fired, except for Spo and Steve Kerr. Like that's crazy to me. So I don't understand. This is twice in the past 2 to 3 weeks that we've seen a coach get fired with no time left. And on top of that, both of these teams are in the playoffs. So I don't understand. Even for example, if Atlanta said let's fire Quinn Snyder, right? It wouldn't make sense for you to fire him right now. Let them finish the season out. I'm sorry, they're in the playoffs, so not them. Let's say the Portland Trailblazers, right? They're not gonna make it. So let's fire the coach right now. That don't even make sense. Let them finish the season. So if we're making that argument for teams that's not in the playoffs, then you should definitely not fire somebody that's in the playoffs right before the season ends. Like to me, that is no make sense. Like y'all said, there's no logical reason as to why he got fired, except for relationship stuff in the organization, or like Jerry said, I'm not gonna repeat it, but like what Jerry said, that could be.
I'm
That
trying to
could
tell
be.
y'all, man. That is because nothing else makes sense. But you brought up players not liking Taylor Jenkins' coach. I mean Mike Malone's coaching style, right? Until you said that the head coach and the GM have like no relationship, it didn't really make sense as that being the reason why he got fired because the GM as well, he also got fired. So if it was players not liking the head coach, why is the GM also getting let go? If it's the GM and your head coach not having a relationship, why isn't okay? Which one do we think is more important here? The guy that's on the bench every single night drawing the X's and O's, or the guy in the front office signing contracts and making trades? Which one's more important? But I don't think that there's no like I said, I'm trying to tell y'all, like y'all think it's a joke. I think this has to be bigger than basketball because there's no reason why both of them got fired.
They
Unless
said
like
they also said, I forgot to say this. They also said it's coming back to me that it's very toxic in Denver. Like the air is just it's like it's toxic there. It's toxic, but they winning. They successful. So that goes back to my point, bro. You're not gonna always get along with people you work with. That's cool. But if we successful, then we successful. Like I don't gotta kick it with you every day, just for those 48 minutes, just for practice. Just in the off season, I'm not gonna see you again until it's time to run it back up. But I don't get that. I understand you want people to be a family, be one, right? I understand that, but that's not gonna always be the case. And this situation, cool, it's toxic, but it's toxic to where y'all making the playoffs every year. It's toxic to where you got the MVP candidate every single year, right? That sounds like good toxic to me. I won't give me some of that toxic, please. Please give me some of that toxic. But hey, it is what it is.
I wonder exactly how toxic it is because I like you said, I read something that said the GM and the head coach Michael Malone they were bumping heads
Yep.
last year, and they were saying this offseason they were gonna part ways with one of them. So either the GM or the head coach. But like Jarek also said, it has to be something bigger than basketball because Michael Malone loves Nikola Jokic, and like you said, Jay Best, whenever the Grizzlies fired Taylor Jenkins, you said you thought it had to do with John Morant because you want your superstar player to be happy, right?
Yep.
You definitely want your superstar MVP, three-time MVP champion, world championship player to be happy. Definitely, especially knowing that he doesn't really like basketball. You want him to be happy at all times.
Yep.
And me knowing exactly how close Michael Malone is, Michael Malone flew out to Serbia multiple times just to go be with Nikola Jokic's family, to go be with his horses. So I know how close that relationship is. So that's why I'm right behind Derek when he says it has to be something deeper than basketball. It has to be. There's no way they woke up Tuesday morning and said, "Hey, I don't think this team has a chance to win a championship." Because Jalen, I know you have it at the top of your head. What did you and the Nuggets split this series? I mean, this season.
I want to say we went up one. So I
Y'all
want
went
to
up
say
one, so
yeah.
3-1. You think?
One. I want to say 3-1.
Okay, three
But
one. I
definitely
know.
was.
I know we 2-2'd them, and I know for the most part they were in the second, third, or fourth seed all season, right?
Yep.
So it's like everybody knew Denver had a chance to win a championship. Everybody in the whole entire league knew, hey, we can't count Denver out. Hey, Denver might be in the finals. Hey, we got to worry about Denver. Everybody knew that. They had the best player in the league, a lot of people say. So, like Jerry said, it has to be something deeper than basketball.
My bad. We split. We split. So we split. Y'all split. Yep.
We split, they split. I know they probably either split or won games over the Timberwolves. Every other good team in the West, I bet they split, or it was nothing that said, hey, this Denver team is not good enough to win this year. It wasn't anything. And especially with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic not being healthy all season and Michael Porter being in and out the lineup. Aaron Gordon was in and out the lineup all year.
and you're
It's
still at
crazy.
the top of the West.
Still
Crazy.
at time. And I get. I mean, I get it. They're on a 4 game loser streak, but that's still not enough for me to say fire Mike Malone. Like this, it's just not enough. But with the GM, there's an argument that can be made with his decisions to let go of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, with his decision to let go of Bruce Brown, right? To kind of go all in on your draft picks, which is the young guys that play outside of Jokic, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter. So like Christian Brown, and you got I think Peyton Watson, I believe, and then another dude, Julian
Uh,
something.
Strawwater, yeah. You talking
Yeah,
about Strawwater.
so he let those guys go to kind of develop his own picks. I mean, it's still technically working. Y'all not at the championship where y'all once were. Cool. But y'all still relevant, right? Every year y'all are still in the picture, so it don't make sense.
But to go along with that 4 game skid they went on, I know they're on four straight going into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Murray,
No, not playing. Yep.
somebody who we know is a superstar in the playoffs, has not played the past 5 games. He hasn't played since March 27th. So don't judge Mike Malone off what he did the past 5 games without Jamal Murray. It just doesn't make sense.
100%. So
Yep.
we all on the same page with that one.
If Nikola Jokic retires this offseason, I would not be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked either. He hates
Man
basketball.
don't like basketball. You fired his head coach. He want to go be with his horses. We might not see him because trust, whenever Nikola Jokic retires from basketball, we're not seeing him ever again. It's gonna be like he does not exist anymore. You're not gonna see him nowhere, no social media, no nothing. So you Denver fans, hey, cherish these moments because he might
And
be gone forever.
it's so cheap to live overseas too. So with the money he got, he doesn't even have to work anymore.
Man,
He's set. Trust.
Yeah, too. And I also heard Nick Wright also said that this could lead to a Michael Porter Jr. and all they draft picks kind of trade, like a panic kind of trade this offseason for a name that's kind of in the air, Kevin Durant, something along them
which is not
lines.
going to work, and then you're definitely gonna be cooked. So yeah, like I said, Denver is they're done because, like I said, even if they do keep this team together, no coach, you can't tell. There's no coach that I can, in my mind, no name comes to the top of my head that can come in here and get this team on track, back on track from where they were. There is no coach. I don't think. I think Mike Malone fit their play style. He fit what they needed. So I don't. Yeah, this franchise is cooked regardless. Unless you can get Phil Jackson to come out of retirement, you're done.
Yep. All right, let's move on to our last topic of the day. The Lakers and OKC butted heads over these past couple games. The Lakers end up winning on Sunday. I have the score right here. Sorry, y'all. 126-99. And then last night, the Thunder beat the Lakers 136-120. All right. So the question is, are the Lakers the biggest threat to OKC? Jared, you up first.
I do think so. I think they are. I think they are very capable when you look amongst the West, especially now with Denver not having a head coach. I think they're definitely the most capable team. Just for the simple fact that like their star power. Like we know that OKC they're a very deep team with great role players, people that go out there do their job. They do their job very well, and you have Shea, who I think should be the MVP this year. So like this team is set up for success, and the only way to beat a team like that sometimes is just my stars are. I have more stars than you. I have a LeBron. I have a Luca. I have a Austin Reeves who's coming into his own, becoming a star for the future. Like I think that at any moment, any one of those guys can go off with the second guy having a great game. Like I think that the only downside to this is going to be maybe the defensive end, but the Lakers have shown that they can play defense at times. Like, okay, this past game against OKC, Shea did Shea things, which that's okay. That might happen. But, like, we look at it, Luka got suspended. I mean, Luka got thrown out of the game. He got ejected. He got two techs, so he had to end up getting thrown out the game. So, like, when we look at this game, I'm not going to base it so much off of this game, but just looking throughout the course of the season, and how the Lakers have been playing since the Luka Doncic trade, since LeBron's gotten back healthy, I think that this is the only team that I can see beating them in the West. Like I can see Golden State having a chance, but I just think that Golden State doesn't have the pieces that the Laker has. Like they don't have the size that the Lakers do have. Like when you look at Golden State, they're a smaller team, and OKC is a bigger team. They have height. They have two big men down low. Like not a lot of teams in the league right now have two big men down low. So it's going to be very hard for Golden State to be successful in that series because they can't play big ball. They don't know how to play big ball. They're going to have to resort to small ball lineups, and that might get them killed this year. Unless Steph Curry goes out there and just plays out of his mind and Jimmy Butler plays like real playoff Jimmy, I don't think that the Warriors have enough to beat OKC. And then any other team in the West, like I said, the Nuggets, they're completely out of the picture now. So any other team outside of that, they don't have enough. They don't have enough experience. So I think that the Lakers are the only team that right now that has a real good chance to beat OKC in a 7-game series just because of the way that they can match up with them.
All right, talk to me, real. Go ahead. Talk to me. Don't hold back.
Yeah. So it was a great game the past two days. I think the Thunder and the Lakers they had some great matchups for sure. But I'm gonna say everybody's overreacting. Just like Derek said, just like all the whole world saying the Lakers shot 55% from three on Sunday. On Tuesday, they shot 45% from three. And on top of that, Jerick, I know you said Luka Doncic got thrown out the game for a second tech in the fourth quarter, but the Lakers got to the line 37 times. It was a terrible whistle. 37 times to 20 times for OKC. I told everybody that I know, I said on Sunday, I said the Lakers got lucky. I promise you they won't shoot that well. How many I could count on a hand how many teams have shot over 50% from three in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? It's not common. It's very, very rare. And they did it on a night where they really needed to do it. And I think the Lakers tricked a lot of people. I think they tricked a lot of people. Everybody knows that LeBron James and Luka Doncic are really great players. Everybody knows that. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been doing what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been doing all year. I'm not gonna overreact over one game and say, "Hey, this game right here impacts what happened all season." It makes no sense. And then the way that this game played out today, I've seen OKC be the OKC team that they were. Yesterday, they were in the passing lanes. They made it really, really hard for everybody. So I say that to say this: I'm gonna give the Lakers the same exact chance I give the Nuggets, the Warriors, and the Timberwolves to take down OKC because, like I just said, the Lakers got hot, right? They shot 55% on Sunday, then they shot 45% on Tuesday. Everybody on the Nuggets starting five shoots over 40%. So if they get hot, they could beat everybody. The Warriors, everybody knows if Steph Curry gets hot, he can shut down everything. He easily put up 60 points. The Timberwolves, everybody besides Rudy Gobert could shoot the three. So it's like, I'm going to give you guys the same exact chance that I give those teams because it's basketball. We all know it's a miss or make league. Whichever team can shoot really, really good, whichever team's hot that night, 8 times out of 10 you win. It's nothing like football. Football, 8 times out of 10, it's all about schemes. It's all about players. The best players usually going to win. Basketball is completely different. So, no.
He said no. Okay. I think somebody on this podcast is a little nervous. I think someone on this podcast is shaking in their boots just a little bit. All right. I think this right now, compared to the podcast we did a couple weeks ago, we kind of had this same conversation. I think you're a little more concerned now than you were back then. I'm not gonna say no names or nothing like that, but one thing that I'm hearing a lot of, and it's not just you, Real, it's from a lot of people that the Lakers shot this percentage from the 3-point line, this, that, and another, right? But what happens to OKC offensive? Right? A little birdie once told me that the Lakers can't guard nobody. That's what Lakers. That's what somebody told me. So if anything, if the Lakers are hot from three, it should be a shootout. But it wasn't. The score was 126-99. Right? And then tonight, and then last night, of course, OKC won. That's cool. I gave y'all a game or two whenever we meet y'all in the Western Conference Finals, right? We're not gonna just sweep y'all, right? So y'all won tonight. Shea had one of them Shea games, right? And then also Luka being thrown out set in the fourth quarter, kind of, it hurts because the Lakers, as Jerry said, is very top heavy, right? With Luka, Braun, Austin Reeves, and then I give you half for Rui because Rui to me is not. He's not a guy you're scared of, but he can play really, really well. So those four guys, if one of them go down, then it's a problem, right? So they're very, very top heavy versus OKC. They're deep. They're deeper, right? One of y'all outside of Shea, one of y'all can go down and y'all still be okay. Same with a couple more teams in the West, but this Lakers team for sure is very, very top heavy. So Luka being ejected, that means a lot for this team specifically. But yes, I believe they are the biggest threat. As Jerry said, the Nuggets, and as you said too, the Nuggets kind of, I think they can still give people problems, right? Just because their team is still really, really good. And we've seen Jamal Murray in the playoffs, and we know what Nikola Jokic is going to bring. Like, they still going to give people a problem, right? But without Mike Malone, there is some hesitation there. I still think the Warriors, Jared kind of sugarcoated it a little bit. I think the Warriors are very scary, and I would not want to play them in the playoffs. And I think that's another team that can beat y'all. But we have a better chance of beating y'all than the Warriors do. Right, so you remember how I always joke around? I say, Lakers in 5, Lakers in 5. No, Lakers in 6. Right, where's the conference finals? Lakers in 6 against the Thunder, and hopefully y'all get there because I'm also seeing. Yes, y'all won last night, but against the Rockets and the Lakers, those other guys. Because you even sent the text to the group chat, and you said you always talking about how deep y'all are, but then you sent the stats. Those other guys, right? The Casey Wallaces, right? The Isaiah Joes, they was kind of iffy, right? And I think it's because they smell that heat because it's the playoffs and it's starting to get hot. As y'all said, it's the time of year where you really start to show your true colors. Last episode we did, or the episode before last, we talked about waving the red flag for Cleveland, right? Waving the red flag for Cleveland. OKC just lost back to back to the second and third seed in the West. So I don't know. So should we wave a red flag there too, or are we gonna be biased? Which one is it, right? So I think the Lakers had the best chance to win, and actually I'm licking my chops right now, and not five, but Lakers in six. That's what it's gonna be. Jared, Lakers, Thunder, Western Conference Finals. First of all, do you agree? And secondly, who you got winning?
I agree, and I have the Lakers winning, but I have the Lakers going to the finals this year. I just do. But like, okay, so whenever you said that, I kind of like sugarcoated the Warriors a little bit. It's not that. It's that. It's the thing. It's like last year in the playoffs. Last year we saw the Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Denver Nuggets, and then we saw Dallas completely like belittle Minnesota. But I'm still a firm believer that if Denver would have played Dallas, they would have beat Dallas. I think it's a thing of the NBA happens to be matchups.
That's it,
Who
yeah.
can you match up with? The thing about Golden State is, to me, yes, Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green, they bring a great defensive intensity. Like, people are saying Draymond Green should win Defensive Player of the Year this year. Like, they bring that type of energy that the Warriors need. But I don't think that across the board, they like, yes, Jonathan Kuminga, he could probably play some defense, but I don't think across the board they are good enough defensively for OKC. I just don't. They're not physical enough for OKC. I don't think so. But whenever it comes to the Lakers, Golden State can match up with the Lakers a little bit more because yes, the Lakers are a physical team when need be. But if they're not playing at OKC, they're not going to play like that. They're not going to be this physical, powered like team. They're not going to. I think that Golden State can match up better with the Lakers rather than OKC. Like we saw OKC struggle against the Lakers and the Rockets. These are two teams that, especially the Rockets, play defense. The Lakers, they have their games where they turn up and play defense. So I just think that it's a thing of matchups. And so I think that if we do see OKC and the Lakers in the conference finals, I have the Lakers winning. I think it might go to 7. And I think in the 7th game, yes, it's going to be in Oklahoma. Yes, the energy is going to be high. But I think that outside of Shea, those other players, like he said, they might start smelling that fire. They getting a little bit too close to that stove. So they're going to start to back away, get a little hot in the kitchen. Can't take the heat, got the kitchen. So I think that in a game 7 against LeBron, against a Luka, two guys that have been here before, they know what it takes to get to the finals. Some guys might start to shy away on the OKC bench and even deeper into the starting lineup, and that might be the difference maker. So I do have the Lakers winning in the conference finals in 7.
Real Lakers, Thunder, Conference Finals. Who you got winning that? How many? We know you got the Thunder winning, but how many games you got to win?
Yeah, so I don't even know if that would be my matchup because like I said,
Tell me your matchup then. Tell me
like
your
I
matchup.
said, the Warriors, Timberwolves, and Nuggets pose the same exact threat that you guys do, and the Rockets, like I said. And like I said earlier, I'm not gonna overreact over one game. I'm gonna go off of the past 79, 80 games that these guys had. Yeah, they had two. They had two bad games. Did the Warriors when they won their championship? Did they go perfect during their season? No team ever has went perfect during their season. No team.
I'm getting sleepy over here because I just said that you told me that the number one seed in the East, right? Let's talk about you. You said I'm worried about the past 79 games. They're the number one seed for a reason, in the same conference with Boston, and they won a rough stretch. And you told me in the audience that there is a red flag that needs to be waved. So why are you saying, okay, we're not gonna overreact to this game, but you just reacted to the Cavs?
I didn't overreact too much. I said this is easily going to be Boston that wins the series. That's what I said. I still said I got Cleveland going to the conference finals, but I said Boston was going to beat them. Like they fell off in that regard. They lost me in that regard. But OKC didn't lose me at all. Like Houston got hot. Houston shot 45% from 3. The Lakers shot 55% from three. We all can admit Shea had a bad game. The players on our team had a bad game. I'm not going to overreact. I know we're the deepest team in the league. You know we're the deepest team in the league. You just said it. You just said somebody could go down and we can have other people step up because we're so deep. So I'm not going to overreact. No, we had a bad game. We had two bad games. It was a bad weekend. Jared, you went to work. You went to work for a couple of days and you had a couple bad days at work. Jalen, you went to work a couple of days and you had a couple bad days at work. What you gonna do? You gonna wake up? You gonna wake up Tuesday night? You gonna wake up and say, "Hey, I'm gonna have a good day at work today."
I'm gonna say I had a good day, but my boss gonna let me know, hey man, you've been slacking the past couple days. We need you to get it together. That's what's gonna happen.
He let us know, and we got it right. So OKC versus anybody, I truly, honestly, if I wasn't an OKC fan and I was a Trailblazers fan on the outside looking in, I'm looking into this playoffs and I'm thinking, hey, the Lakers have Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic, we've seen him dismantle teams in the playoffs. Everybody knows that. I'm thinking Nikola Jokic, he has a championship under his belt. I'm thinking Anthony Edwards, he's turning into a superstar. They have a really great team around him. And I'm thinking of Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. Like, if they get hot, what can't they do? So no, I don't just think it's the Lakers versus the Thunder in the conference finals, but whoever it is out of all those teams I just said, I do have the Thunder winning in 6 or less because we're the most physical team in the league. And even if we don't shoot good, we have the best defense in the league to back it up. So we don't have to rely on 3-point shooting like the Lakers do. They have to rely on shooting 50% or better to beat teams like us. If they don't shoot 50% or better, it's over with. Stop. It's over with. It's over with.
Oh, really? Okay.
And he know they're not going to shoot 50% in the playoffs.
You're right. We're not. We're not.
And you know Shea not going to go to the Shea will never ever in his life not go to the free throw line again. Never. Y'all, they doubled us in the free throw count the first time and the second game, but 37 to 20 free throws, it's crazy.
Okay. Hey, he said dead that. Okay, all right, we gonna see. And the best part about it is that the playoffs are right around the corner. So
Right around the corner.
put your money where your mouth is.
Right around the corner.
The season ends in 4 days.
Woo-wee.
We
You
definitely
get hot in that kitchen. You can't handle the heat. Get out.
definitely starting to heat up. All right. But that is it from the Straight to the Point podcast today from your boy J Best, your boy Rail, your boy Jared. Please go check out Rail Stream on Twitch at Young Rail Streams. All right. And also check out my TikTok, my Instagram, my Facebook at the bottom of the screen right here. And look, another jersey giveaway is coming on Thursday. All right. I'm gonna post a video on TikTok. All right. And then also I'm gonna do a jersey giveaway on Instagram as well. So make sure y'all are staying in tune for that. The draft is in 2 weeks almost. All right, so we're gonna start talking about that a little bit as well. Just make sure y'all stay locked in with the Straight to the Point podcast. All right, with much love, we out.